Got to hear this shit, saucy. Let that shit ride, 88.
What's up, my people? We back at another edition of The Vibe. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you haven't already. And today, we just gonna vibe out. You know, we're gonna talk about a few things. One thing I want to talk about, one of my subscribers and good friend of mine um, told me that they wanted me to do a video on, getting it out the mud. Like, but they more so wanted for me to like highlight, a young girl, growing up, being forced to be a woman before she is actually grown into womanhood. So we're gonna touch on that. We're gonna touch on that because there's a lot of young girls out there that that's been forced in a situation of adulthood and motherhood, and they really didn't have a choice. From the circumstances that they was dealt in life. So I want to talk about that and address that and get y'all thoughts and opinions on it. Um, what are some things y'all think that we can do as a people to prevent younger girls being thrown into them type of situations where they're forced to take on motherhood and adulthood at such a young age. I mean, I know a lot of times when you come through households like that, it's because it's a broken household. It's not a father and a mother there. So I want to talk about that. If me personally, like anybody that I've been with or dealt with, if they had a daughter or a younger daughter, I always stay in my place first of all, because if I'm not their father, then I try to keep them boundaries, and I will consult with the mother first about anything. But I will give my advice and my input on the situation if I see something that don't look right. But that's just me. Everybody's not gonna do the same thing. You have a lot of people that are going to these situations and they take advantage of this, and you got niggas, this creeps that they turn around and they be preying on them younger girls and things of that nature right there. And if I ever catch a nigga doing that, well, we ain't even gotta talk about that. It's up, just know that. But I want to know what we can do better as a people to prevent these type of situations. Like, you can't shelter your kids and not talk to them about everything in life and get them the real about certain situations, because if you don't be honest with them, then they'll be in a blind, and their innocence can actually cause them to be a victim in life at some point, because they're not used to it and they didn't hear about it, so they don't know what steps to take if somebody approached them to try to take advantage of them and prey on their innocence. So as a parent, you have to instill that to them and let them kids know that they can come and talk to you about anything, and let them know what's appropriate and what's inappropriate. Excuse me. For anybody, for any male or woman that's like trying to take that child's innocence away from them. So I think if we do better communicating with the kids and talking to them and letting them know what's going on, then we can ready them for life. If something like that happened, then they'll be able to know what steps to take to tell somebody to get their story out there. But you also have to have these parents. Y'all can't just be blind. If your child come to you and tell you that they've been taken advantage of, you can't brush them off like they lying neither. You have to do the deep research, regardless if you in love with this nigga or not. Your child's supposed to come first and foremost. So you supposed to protect them with your life. So fuck a nigga if it come down to that. Like, you gotta protect your child, and you shouldn't dismiss what they're telling you. If there are signs that's leading up to that, then you need to take the precautions to get rid of this motherfucker and get some help. even if you scared of this motherfucker, you gotta get some help because it's nothing worse than letting your child being taken advantage of or being harmed or hurt. That's just my opinion. So yeah, but she was saying basically like getting it out the mud. Young girls growing up homeless, sleeping in cars. Some girls run away from they family because they dealing with trauma and things that's going on within the household. What they see that's in the household. So we got to do better as a people and as a community to protect these kids when they growing up because they innocent. They looking for guidance and they looking for somebody to guide them. When I was growing up, we had, the grandmothers. I don't call them big mamas because I ain't in that era to say we call her big mama this and that. I don't. That ain't my era. That came after me. My granny and my grandma, my great grandma. That's what we call them. So they teach. They instill certain things in children growing up. That's saying we got to get back to that. We got to get back to stop allowing social media to raise our kids and to be the focal point of our family household because you can. It done got to the point where the kids be on their phone, the parents be on their phone, and ain't nobody really communicating. It ain't no real communication going on in the house, and that's what we going wrong here. We got to get back to that and being social because these kids are being raised by the internet nowadays and TikTok and all the other platforms. So with my voice, I'm gonna try to let it be known. If I can, anything that I can do to try to like steer the youth into the growth as a people, then that's what we need to do, and that's what my job is. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to get some education up as much as I can. I ain't the best person in life to take advice for, cause I make a lot of mistakes in life too. But just me trying to help and lending my voice, then maybe it can help one person. If I teach one person and help one person in life, then maybe they can teach the person and help another person. And I've done my job if I reach one. So, with that being said, I want to know what y'all think about, getting it out the mud, younger women growing up. I'm gonna do something on the men, but this focal point of the women because I got young girls, and well they older now, but they still my babies. So I just want them all to make the right decision in life. Don't let nobody take advantage of them, manipulate them, and not value them for who they are and their worth. They need to know their worth. And that's what we need to do. We need to start teaching them their worth and showing them that love so they don't have to feel like they gotta go out to strangers and try to get love or be accepted. They gotta try to fit in for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Because they not getting that love at home. The love's supposed to start at home, and that's what we gotta focus on. So we gotta get that love back to our kids, and we gotta teach them that they can be anything they want to be in life, and don't let nobody use them or abuse them. And that's my thoughts on the situation. Y'all tell me what y'all think and give me y'all comments. And I appreciate everybody for coming through. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And thank y'all for rocking with me, vibing on the vibe. Peace. Then he switched up on me. I said, down, guess he was right. My little partner switched up and man to me, that nigga died. And if I catch him on the porch, them niggas, that nigga fried.